Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? Ooh, happy Friday. Well, I guess we're not going to have a gap up. They sold into it at 77.80. Interesting. How are you guys doing? Oh, man, I tell you. Alrighty. So we have, it'll look above and fail of yesterday's high. So those of you who took that short, good for you. Overnight inventory is long, right? And I'd be looking for a correction down to 77.52, which, what a coincidence, is VWAP. So let's see if we can stay over 77.52. Now, here's the problem with shorts. The position here for the last day and the night is all under 77.52. So we're in distribution right now. Right? We're taking the stuff that we bought between 21 and 40, 50, and we're selling it here at 60. So let's see where the bid is when the market opens. Welcome, welcome. It's good to have you guys with us. So, one thing that we are doing, we are going to be giving away 10 free take profit trader accounts for the people who sign up for the room. So, we are running a special, right? Get some new blood in the room, right? And for our 7th anniversary, Steve's opening the doors for new members. He's giving it a bit of a sale, 50% off, and you get a free take profit trading funding account for signing up. So he'll be giving away, I think, 10 of those. So make sure you check that out. Hey, Sergio, how are you? Good to see everybody. I have to apologize. When I was in the plane on the way back, there were a ton of little kids, and I think I got a pretty bad cold. So if I sound that, actually, I'm running a fever now, so I'm going to try and muddle through this session and then go take a dirt nap. I tell you, man, pretty brutal. So make sure you double check my work, okay? You should always double check my work anyway, but especially when I'm a little sick, make sure I don't make any stupid mistakes. So we seem to be getting some bids here at 77, 56, 57. Right, there's a space between VWAP and the bottom of these candles. Those are buy orders. That's what we call front running. So if you are short the look above and fail of 73, this is probably where you'd be buying back a bunch of your position or a good amount of it, right? So you can take profit. Now, the overnight point of control got taken from here and thrown all the way up over there. That's short covering. So the market did as it was intended to do. It went and it ran the upper stops, forced people to cover their shorts, and now we're back down. It's a very familiar thing. People who get caught short, they'll bang away at it. They'll all cover size up here above the previous day high. You see all that volume? Right? And then the thing just drops because short covering is not really buying that you can totally depend on. If it's buying that holds, like say we had held 77, 73 for some time, then we would have brought some interest this way. But we couldn't hold it, and when it collapsed, it took everybody who was long up here, it forced them out. Let's see what we're going to do here on the open. Remember, it's Friday. Today's the day that you protect the money you made this week, right? Be smart. Be smart. Be smart. Whatever money you made this week, you want to protect that, right? Make sure, you trade less, you trade small, unless you get a perfectly clear setup, right? Like this. See? That long at 77.48, stop 47, sell into the 54s. Nice little trade. From the edges inside. From the edges in, from the edge in. That's how you want to trade. Always from the edge in. Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing. Hello? Okay, cool. Moran, it's just you. You're having audio issues again. Sorry about that. Check your settings. Cool. The trades I'll be looking for off the open are the look below and fail of 77.47 quarter. That kind of situation here. Back up, and then they'll be selling at 56, 54. You can see that we have a seller. See? Go mark off where your seller is. Right now, somebody this morning, they were asking me about the volume there. You don't care about the volume at 77.62. All you care about is that somebody is selling and somebody else is competing. So they're lowering price. That's all that matters to you right now. You don't have to worry about the volume unless you yourself are trading volume, right? Sometimes it's nice to see where it is, but it's not going to make you any money. Use the top of the candles to see where the sellers initiate. Use the bottom of the candles to see where they stop selling. You're back. Good stuff, Moran. You want to really make sure that your trades are meaningful. You know what I mean? And what I mean by meaningful trades, make them count, you know? We want to make them count. Hey Alex, how you doing? Good to see you. Gonna open up in about a minute here. Let's see what the cat drags in for order flow. I think you guys are all used to marking up the markets on a Friday. Seems to be the regular kind of course of business. Remember, wait for your setup. You know, don't overtrade. Don't get sucked in to what other people are saying. You know your business. Handle your business. You know? And if you don't see a clear trade, you don't have to trade. You don't have to swing at every pitch. You know? Hey, all right. How you doing? Good to see you, sir. And they're off. Look for a little tag of VWAP. See if we catch a bid. Now, remember, if you do catch a bid on this thing, that there will most likely be a seller up at 62, right? Possibly earlier. So just let the market open. Let the large traders show you where the bids and the offers are. Okay? No use you spending money on price discovery. If you're long 56, 57, you can see there's a seller here at the top of that candle at 58, 59. The next seller will be just at 60 half. So if you are long, right, make sure that you have your sell orders out so you can take advantage of that little move up. There you go. So you're long 56, 57. You're selling 60s. Now you know there's going to be a seller at 62. So take profits. Were they sold before, they will sell again. They have no choice. It's how the business works. You really have no choice. Because if you don't sell, your competitor will. You know, look, they're selling before 62. Sorry if I'm sniffling. Sounds a bit gross. Past that seller at 62. Well, we'll look for 70. 77.65, and then yesterday's high. Okay. I don't see a short just yet. Remember, you don't have to trade if it's not clear. Right? Save your bullets. No short yet. Excuse me. Well, it's not really clear, is it? And always remember, if it doesn't suit you, don't take it. Don't touch it. Just wait. There'll be better trades. Excuse me. This is like serious chop. Hey, Black Hawk, how you doing? Exactly, Jam. Just take it easy, have your coffee, relax, wait. This is what we call a pickpocket market right here. You go long, you get stopped out. You go short, you get stopped out. Right? Let's see if we can break VWAP. Right? Yeah, I'm a big believer, in letting the market tell me where the trade is. It's I just find it a lot easier to do that than to try and guess and all that stuff. It gets really expensive and really, really frustrating, you know? So why bother? Wait till it's right there and it's got your name on it. Know what I mean? All right, if we blow the top at 64, we should get a little bit of a lift. Can we do that? Still a seller there. Why not, right? There's buyers. You got to sell, right? You want to get rid of as much inventory as you can on a Friday. The less you got to hold over a weekend, especially in a wartime market, the less inventory that you hold, the less risk you take, especially in this market. Got a lot of crazy stuff going on. You know, if it's not a war, it's AI, it's always something, you know. Still got that seller at 62, right? Got a lot to do except sit and watch. I really like trading the edge. It just makes my life so much easier. Yeah, forcing a trade is not a good thing, you know. Just never ends well. I've found anyway. It's kind of like that whole thing kind of holds true in pretty much every business situation, you know. Forcing a bad situation, it never really works out for anyone. Don't get frustrated with this price action, okay? Don't let it get to you, right? These guys have a job to do. They're trying to make that money right now. It's a wholesale business right now. Don't worry about it. You'll get yours. Oof. Right. So there's basically what we're doing right now. See all this inventory that's above here? We're taking it in here. If we can hold the market over VWAP, we'll move up here and resell it over here. That's why I don't see a short just yet. Okay. If we take out VWAP, much better on the short side. Absorption, yeah, you know, it's like the bounty paper towel, right? We are absorbing the selling from above. So if you want to get like fancy about it, it is liquidating inventory. Sorry, I sound like a duck with this cold. It's liquidating inventory being absorbed into wholesale hands or inventory that goes from retail to wholesale, right? To be redistributed into the retail flow for profit. You will hear it called absorption, right? You'll hear it called the position, right? Hey Leslie, how you doing? How's Rocky Mountain High? How are things in Colorado? Me, there's no reason for me to trade this right now. Not until the market needs to show me a good reason. It's got to give me a good deal, man. Right? This is not conducive to a good deal. Now, larger traders, what they will do is they'll build a net long position, right? They'll be buying 56 to 62, but you no doubt when we get to 68, they will be a seller, right? Listen, I am all in favor of starting the weekend, right? As the 80s song said, everybody's working for the weekend, right? So you're long 62, I'm selling 66, and I'm just trading the micro because I am running a, I am running a fever and like everything hurts. So I just bought about 3 or 4 micros and I'm flat here. And that's good enough for me. So what I did was I long 62 when we cleared it. I bought it. My timing was good. Actually, me being having a fever has made me a better trader. So I bought it when it took out that 62, and I put my stop here just right here, like 60 half. And I knew there's going to be a seller here, so pop out, and I think that's pretty much the only trade, right? You know what happened? I got on the plane 2 days ago to come back, and there were like all these little kids, like like under 5 years old, and they were running up and down the hallways and sneezing, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get sick. And the little rugrats got me sick. Do you see why I was saying no short? I'll be okay. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. I'm just a little, as my mother would say, I'm a little slow on the uptake, which was just a very polite way of saying that I'm a little stupid today, right? Yeah, I took the offer. Definitely, Zeth. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't get it on the bid when it's in motion. You're not going to get it on the bid. This is something that I learned market making. We should be bid 62 now. If it doesn't hold 62, we're coming back to VWAP. If it holds 62, it'll rotate back up to the previous day high. I remember in the old days when you traded on the phone, you'd call Citadel and you'd say, "Hey, I want to buy 10,000 shares of this," and they'd say, "JJ, the stock's in motion. Do you want me to take it?" And that's exactly what they mean, right? If the product's in motion, you are going to have to take the offer sometimes, which it doesn't really feel like a good thing to do, but when you see that position's being held, holding VWAP, and then with the offer moving up, you'll see the candles following the offer higher, right? Now it didn't last very long. It only lasted for about 90 seconds. That run, like boop boop. That's why you want to make sure you sell into strength. Quick trade, right? So when a market's in motion, you're probably going to have to take the offer. What you should do, Zeth, is you should practice on the sim, taking the offer and throwing your sell order out right away. Take the offer, put in your stop, and then immediately throw out your sell order. Get it so you do it so fast it becomes like breathing or, wiping your nose, right? So it becomes like second nature. Then you'll be able to trade a faster market. It's really knowing where to hit the buttons on the DOM, right? Or to put your bids in. It's knowing your software so you can manipulate it quickly. And you should be practicing that, right? I do it all the time. Like when I'm talking to you guys, I've got a DOM open and it's on Sim, and I'll be continuously putting in bids, canceling bids, putting in stops, right? I do that all the time just to make sure that it's like warming up, right? It's like, you know, before you, no. It means buy ask. Here, biddy. Sorry. Now, see, I'm on sim. It means buy ask, right? Not market, right? Market. You don't really want to use market orders, right? So if you buy the offer and you throw a stop out, well, I got hit right away, right? Stocks, the product's coming down. But if it starts to pop really fast and you go and buy the ask, go put your stop in and then throw your sell order out right away. See? Practice doing that over and over and over and over and over again. I always front run, Sergio. I learned in 1993, I learned something very, 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 very important. My boss told me something. He said, JJ, I never saw a bid I didn't like. Right? You front run everything, man. You know, you get out there and you hustle, right? Because there's a sense of urgency in this market, especially with these algos. They're so freaking quick that you have to train yourself to be quicker. And it's no special skill being a fast trader. Being a fast trader just means you know how to hit the buttons on the software, like the kids who play those video games for hours, like in my building. You know, they play this video game. This guy's got a hood on and he's running around with a sword, cutting people's heads off. It's a weird game. I can't even get the guy to move, right? So on the DOM, you should know your trading software. You should know how to put in orders quickly. You should know how to put in stops quickly. And you should practice that over and over and over again, right? Just kind of like when you're sitting at your desk, instead of clicking a pen, go put some orders in. Make sure you're on sim. Just so you get your reflexes up there. You know what I mean? Then fast trading won't seem so fast. It's just repetition. That's all it is. All it is just repetition. There's no magic in this. How to do this business is all about discipline and repetition. Oh, and being a cheap bastard. Only doing business when it suits you. Let me give you an example. Okay? Have you ever sat in front of a billionaire and tried to raise money? Doug knows what I'm talking about. He's a scientist and he has to fund his research projects. When you sit in front of people who have a lot of money and you ask them for money to invest in a deal, they look at you like you got scabies and they crinkle up their nose and they're like, ew, how dare you ask us for money, right? You should be like that when you're looking at trades. Be a little snooty. Hey, is this trade, what are you trying to sell me here, right? Is this trade really worth my while or are you just trying to take advantage of me? Think like that when you're trading. You know, because I was taught this business by the greedy old bastards. You know, the guys who were worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but were so cheap. You know, they were so cheap. Be selective where you do business on the chart, right? Be picky. That's what R. Croy says, right? So now we're going to do a little distribution. We were underneath 77.62 for a little bit of time here. See? Right from it was almost 50 minutes, right? And we accumulated some inventory. We're going to take that inventory and we're going to sell it here. Right? So the wholesalers, because those Hamptons rentals are not cheap. I remember it was 1998, like it was yesterday. And I was out with this crew, and there were these two girls from J.P. Morgan Wealth Management, and we were like just dirtbag market makers. I don't know how they were even giving us the time of day. I was with a bunch of guys from Knight and Frankel, and small Jersey City firms, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got do you want to go in on a Hamptons rental?" Right? It was like we're like, "Oh yeah, how much is it?" Right? It's like, "Oh, it's like 50 grand for the week." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Take it easy. I'm not working at J.P. Morgan Wealth Management. 50 grand for the week." And this was in 97. It must have been a nice place. Suffice to say, we did not get an invitation to the Hamptons. Be selective, right? These people, they're going to sit and sell here, right? They got to pay for the Hamptons rental. They got to pay for the helicopter out there, right? That's coming out of your pocket. This business right now, it's a little weird. There have been some decent trades, like there have been some decent moves, right? But you can see if you look at the candles from the Globex session, you can see a lot of times it was just horrible. Like that's just horrible trading. This is wholesale trading, right? So you just want to take the look below and fail. Try and grab a look above and fail if you can nail it. You know, you want to trade less. It's Friday. This thing is still, if you look above and fail yesterday's high and you're shorting this, your stop is 68. Okay. So if you're looking to do a little short, say you shorted the 64s, you'll be looking for bids as we drop into VWAP, right? Make sure you put your bids in. Like I shorted 61 and 3/4. Not the best short, just on 2 micros. And I just ended up closing it out. Right? It's just I am a little slow. Right? I should have called that trade out at 68. You guys are all ready for the weekend, I can tell. Right? We should have been short 66 down to the open. But that's okay. Now, let's see if we break VWAP. And can we get underneath that 77.53? Looking for 77.50. Come on, come on. Almost there. That's annoying. Wait for the next candle. Now, let's see where they sell into it. Let's see. Got 16 minutes till the next candle. I want the next candle to open and not be able to get above, what is that? 58. Where the hell are my glasses? 56, sorry. Oh, come on, sell into it. What's wrong with you? How many people are short, for God's sakes? There, sell into it, sell into it. Come on, be normal. Be normal. If you are short from 60, 62 higher, go put some bids in the 52s and the 51s. You should be getting tickled on your 52 bids here and put some 51 bids in and see if you can buy anything at 51. If you can't buy anything at 51, you might have to start taking some offers, especially if you're trading some size. As they say in Long Island, my trading today, I was trading like a piker. So that's okay. Have we corrected overnight? Kind of, right? The overnight inventory is long. So we'd have to come all the way back down. Now, the problem with that is all the inventory from the last two sessions is here. So for us to get down here to 32, they're going to really need to put it on sale. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm always short biased, always, no matter what. But one thing I've learned is to trade to the upside when you're short biased. If your bias is wrong, right? Uh, Clinging to a bias is the most expensive thing you can do. Clinging to a bias is like buying a Citroen SM and taking it apart thinking you'll be able to put it together again. It's going to be an expensive thing to do. Car people will understand that reference. Right? So can't get under 53 and stay there. So let's see if we got that 62 seller again. There they are. See? They're right there. Now, if we see some bids up to 77.66 and then up to that 68 area again. Any French car for that matter. Yeah, exactly. Why am I always short biased? Because I've been a seller my whole life, illiquid. That's a good question. Now, that's not like that for most people. Because I've always been a liquidator and I grew up in the sewers of the penny stock world. So I was always selling billions of shares. You know how McDonald's has billions and billions served? My thing is billions and billions sold, right? So always I'm thinking that there's going to be a liquidation. This market does not liquidate like a penny stock or even a NASDAQ stock, right? This market is very sticky. This is one of the stickiest markets I have ever encountered in my lifetime. I've seen short squeezes in the last maybe 6 months for a good one. This market has been squeezing shorts since COVID. Yeah, that's an expensive hobby, Sergio. Okay. I think I might be a little premature here. Could be the fever talking. Maybe we just kind of go back and forth like this. A little bit annoying, but it could be tradable. Let's see if it holds. Right now, there's no trade because we're in the middle of the box. We want to short from the up down, buy from the down up. Right? Really simple. Yeah, that's just me, illiquid. Most people won't be. right? It's not a it's tradable if you wait for the edge, right, Milo? You know, there's some decent cash in there. You got it. You're starting to see it now, Milo. I can see that. That's cool. I like to see that. We'll turn you into a stone cold killer yet. Cool, cool. Anything that we can do to simplify the learning process, to help people save time learning, giving them good information on where to actually take trades instead of philosophizing about things like the VIX and all that stuff, which is fine, but you're not making any money looking at the VIX, right? Now let's see if we do a look below and fail at 53.54, right? I'm going to wait for the next candle, and if we hold that, I'd like it to come down to 51.50 and then pop back up over 54. That would be cool. We could take that, hopefully past VWAP up to maybe 58, 59, couple of points. Let's see. Now, if we take out 77.50, all bets are off, right? You want to wait until it comes back over a level to buy it. Put your stop underneath that level, right? So there's the next candle. Nothing to buy now, right? They're still putting it on sale, right? We have no reason to go long unless it does this or does this. Oh, thanks, Milo. No, I never met Victor Niederhofer. I would love to meet Victor Niederhofer. He wrote The Old Man and the Yen. It's the first chapter of his book, Education of a Speculator. He's one of those Connecticut guys, So I was never invited to those kind of, like, those are what we call white shoe guys. Did he really? Oh, no. The first chapter of his book is amazing. I'm long 53, and I sold, where did I sell it at? I sold it at 54 and 3/4 and 55. Now it's going to do it again, right? Long 53 and a half, 3/4, and I'm just scalping, right? Just scalping. Oh man, that's really sad. I love his writing style. He wrote a little bit too much about squash, but other than that, just Google The Old Man and the Yen. It's the first chapter of his book where he's short like $350 million yen, and he's trying to cover like $350 million worth of currencies without anybody knowing that he's coming and running the market up on him. It's the greatest because you guys don't trade size. So, the brokers are always asking him, where are your stops, so they can run it. And he goes, I don't trade with stops, right? Just so they won't run them because that's a different type of trading, right? So, yeah, he's offside and he needs to cover this dollar yen position. He's short, and he's trying to cover it because if they see him coming, they're going to jack the price up and run him into the ground, right? You got to be quick, Milo. You got to be quick. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it, right? If you're not comfortable with the trade, don't do it. One day you will be comfortable with it. Here it is. If you go to the New York Times website, it's hilarious because he's he's trading a $350 million position, and he won't spend $100 on a new CD player. I love that. He's so cheap. uh, so once again, folks, I'm just going to remind you, we're giving away those 10 Take Profit Trader accounts, right? And if anybody does join the room, reach out to me next week. I wanted to do some stuff this week. I only got one video off. But next week, as soon as I can shake the stupid cold, be done this weekend, I'm going to do a welcome to the room, sort of a 101, Markets 101. We haven't done one of those. In this business, Grain Monk, you want to be both. Grain Monk, you want to channel your inner Scrooge McDuck. You know what I mean? Scrooge McDuck, he was a trader. Yeah, it's hilarious because he's trying to cover $350 million yen, and his CD player breaks, and he's like, oh, I don't want to buy a new one until I close this position. Here we go. Come on, 47. We're under 50 yet? Oh no, we just tickled it. Just tickled the 50. Oh, so there are a lot of people out there who are probably annoyed to death. I always say the algos have been set to annoy. So just relax, guys and ladies. Take it easy. It's Friday. It's summer, remember? It's the lazy days of August. Yeah, sellers are pushing price lower because they have to get rid of their inventory. You got to remember, Sergio, their cost basis is 27 to 34. It's down here. This is where they bought all the crap, right? So they can put it on sale all the way down to this 40, right? So this is, who was asking about an inventory correction? One of the folks on YouTube, right? They were asking about an inventory correction. And a true inventory correction would be to come and tag the close. What I'm curious about is if we can get back down to 77.24. I would love to see what's lurking down under 24 for bids, because that's where the shorts are trapped, right? I really want to see if there's any bids down there. Yeah, I remember people. I remember like my normal friends who had normal families, they had cottages and motorboats and they went sailing. I'd go to my mom. Hey, mom, we should get a boat. She'd be like, "What boat for you, idiot? Go study." Boat. What are you, a captain? Go study. You almost failed math last year. Oh God. So I'd always go hang out with my friends who had boats. Look below and fail of 47. I did not buy that. I did not buy that. No, I don't. I think I am going to leave well enough alone. If you want to go long 48, I'd kind of let this candle close. For some reason, I don't trust this candle. Not just yet. See, I was right. Let's see what happens. Give it another 30 seconds, right? Yeah, give it some time. Let them caramelize the onions. You know what I mean, Milo? No brothers and sisters. Yeah. So my parents never saw me all summer. I'd be at like people who had normal families, right? The cottages and boats, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go sailing, like the Howells, right, on Gilligan's Island. Alrighty, if we can hold 48, oof, these candles are not giving me confidence. The offer just look at that, one, two, three candles with lower highs, which means the sellers are moving down, right? So let's see what. I'll wait another 18 seconds, right? Sometimes it takes a little longer to beat all the dirt out of the carpet, Milo. That's all it is, right? Let's see what happens. Now, I took my eye off this thing for 2 seconds. Idiot. Should have been buying 49. Ah, wow. I am a little slow, right? So if you are long 48, 49 against 47, now you know that the seller is here, right? You know the seller is here. So wait for this candle. If this candle holds 50, stay long. If it can't hold 50, punt out. But you should have your sell orders in. Like if you're long 51, 50, like the Van Halen album, you should be offered. See, and it's sell them as they get, right? Sell them like you stole them. That is a look below and fail. My trade location was high, right? My trade location was high because I was asleep at the switch. But that is a nice trade, right? Had I had my act together, right? Long 48, stop 47, sell some at 50, sell some at 52, 53, and you're done. It's nice. It's not glamorous, but it works, you know? Then thanks, check up charter. Yeah, I miss Eddie Van Halen. It was a hell of a time in music. This whole robot thing's getting creepy, man. All I see on Twitter now is like robots, 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 robots. Like, ah. Okay, next seller is going to be up at 77.60. And there we go. Previous day highs where we were looking for a seller. Well, VWAP, no, we did a look below and fail. The buying retention, Jimmy, today is not bad. The buying retention's not bad. Even though the inventory's above us. You could think of it as a look below and fail of VWAP, but the trade is a look below and fail of the edge, right? 47. Yeah, that was. I kind of screwed up on the entry. That was a wee bit slow. And it's just creeping higher again, right? Let's go take a look at. The nice thing about these market profile charts is you can see the position, right? That's where 70% of the inventory is priced. So the goal would be to try and sell everything that we own under 67 between, say, 70 and 82. And if we're lucky, we can maybe run that 97. Know what I mean? So where I learned this, I had this client, and his name was Kevin, and we used to call him Ramrod. And he looked like Kenny Rogers. He had the white hair and the white beard, and he wore a bunch of that, that jewelry that looks like it's like a green stone. I don't know what the hell it is. He was a real character, and he'd call me up and he'd go, JJ, look, we want to own everything between 30 and 50. And as soon as it pops 52s, we're on the offer. So we'd buy as much as we can, clean the market under a level, and then go pop it. Right? And that's where I learned that concept from. Now, this is a much bigger market, and there's a whole bunch of different elements to it. But the business principle is still the same. That's it, turquoise. He was a character, man. That guy, he always had like 3 or 4 deals going at the same time. And all his offshore accounts were named after his like dog. All his dogs. So all his corporations were named after his dogs. He was a good guy. I learned a lot from him. Taught me a lot about how markets work. Yeah, it was weird. Like you do business with clients and then you finally meet them because it's always over the phone, right? And you go meet some of these guys, and this guy looked like Kenny Rogers. Another client who looked just like Walter Matthau. For you old folks, you'll know who he is. right? And then I had another client, JT. This guy looked like Robert De Niro in Angel Heart, with the long goatee and the ponytail and the frickin' $5,000 suit. He was a scary looking dude, man. Right? There's some characters, right? Characters. Let's see if we can run yesterday's high. Now, if we can get accepted over yesterday's high, a good piece of business would be to take this and sell it back and forth here. Yeah, it was a little creepy. Imagine how I felt when I went up in the Chrysler building and I go into one of the offices at the top in the dome, and this dude is in this black Armani suit with a ponytail and a goatee, and he's taking calls, placing trades, doing stuff. You had like 20 traders going at the same time, running deals. But he was a scary looking dude. I'm like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Was this guy like, this guy looks like the Undertaker for the mob. Uh-oh. I should have known he was so polite on the phone. But he was a good guy. Gave me a lot of decent business. Let's see. There we go, pushing that previous day high. If we run the overnight high, that might be something. I don't know if we can do it. But if we take out that overnight high, one thing I want to warn you guys about, right? Over 77.90, there's not much inventory over 77.90. This and this has been bought here and here. So if we get back up over 77.90, be careful for one of these weird runs, right? Exactly, Jam, right? Because we flushed all of this out. There's only 2 days. And this thing on this day, look, it didn't trade that much volume. These days are not high volume days. So the overhang has been flushed out. And if we take that high, right, where is it here? Just be careful shorting. It's summer, it's Friday. They loved, the market loves to get everybody short. And next thing you know, we're 30, 40 points higher. We are at all-time highs. So if we take out 77, let's say 77.90, just to be, give it some room, right? If we take that out, just be careful on the short side because there is not a lot of overhang. There's a little bit of supply here at 92, right? To gap or not to gap? What can I say? I'm running a fever. I'm not responsible for the things I tweet, right? So there's not much. It was 1.2 million contracts, a million, 1.3, 183 here, a million here. I think this is going to be your tell-all, right? If we get up to 77.92 and we rip through this little red section, be careful because that stop at 78.02, right? Think of this as like the last chance before we run out of gas stations and then you're in the desert. Because once we get up over here, be careful. What you're hoping for is distribution up here. But if this thing catches a bid and runs into the end of the day, just be careful. Okay? Yeah, if all the inventory is underneath us, Milo, you can name your price, right? But yesterday it was like 50 points cheaper. Ah, sorry, buddy. You know, I'd love to sell it to you at 77.50, but the boss will kill me if I don't ask 77.80 for it. You know what I mean? Be careful of that on a Friday. Friday afternoons in summer, especially in August, are the worst to be lazy on, like mentally lazy, because you can get into so much trouble on a Friday afternoon in the summer. Everyone's kind of like do 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 do. They're thinking about the beach, they're thinking about the lake. You just slip up once or twice, right? I don't see a short here, right? Taking out these 80s, it's going to be, yeah, what am I looking? I'm looking for 83 and a half on the half hour candle chart. 77, 83 and a half, right? Be very, very careful, right? You can see here, look, look at how much inventory is over 83 compared to the inventory underneath it. If you want to use volume, use it intelligently, right? Use it intelligently. This is the position we're going to, and there's not much here. So the bulk of the inventory under 83, once you pop it, it could pop really quick. Be careful, my friends, right? Be careful, okay? On the short side. Friday afternoons in the summer, right? Oh, yeah, definitely reach out. Thanks, Alex. Have a good weekend. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Go get out from in front of the computer and go enjoy the sun. Come visit us at Trading Syndicate if you want, if you want a free prop account. We got a short position here, right? Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys. We will see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the sun. Thanks so much. Bye for now.